Hello. For my second video today, I'm going to be talking about more of the addiction being a disease. Um, I was just thinking about how, there is some line of like trying to accept some of the curses. Well, I call them curses. Um, some of the problems that we have versus, you know, believing that we don't have to have the problems that we have. Like, for example, I've struggled with many years really believing that I don't have to be depressed. And I know it's still different than drugs, but they kind of all fit a certain type of issue to me, like um, long term problems, I guess you can call them, addictions. Chronic illness, they all kind of fit in similar ways. I know they're not the same, but um, I've had a lot of similar thoughts between these type of things. Like I said, so depression. I've been depressed for many years, and I just for a long time I just really believed um, that God was gonna take away my depression, which I'm not saying that He won't. One day. I mean, I think that's another part of this, I guess, this topic of um like a disease. And to me, disease tends to like infer that it's going to be a long period of time, maybe even a lifetime. Well, not that disease really means that, but I think when people say addiction is a disease, they tend to mean it's a lifetime. But anyway, my point was with depression, I've struggled with that for many years, believing that, you know, if you want to say that my depression is a disease, well, I guess I'll start out saying, like, for a long time, I thought God was going to heal my depression. Um, I guess I'll just say sooner than I thought, and God's timeline is very frustrating. Um, I think I will do a separate video on that specifically, but I just remember probably for about 5 years really believing that God was just going to heal me in that time period. Um and I wasn't going to try to take any medication for it. I wasn't going to try to treat it. I was just going to wait for my healing. But I guess within the last 2 or 3 years, I've come more to accept that this is just kind of a curse that I'm dealing with, if you want to say a disease. And who knows when it will be cured. But part of that acceptance is understanding that there's an element to it that I have no control over. For example, I feel like when I really go back and think about when my depression started, um, it comes from a lot of bad things that happened in my childhood, specifically with my parents, a lot of neglect, a lot of lack of love, just a lot of problems that happened for me that ended up getting me into the depression. And I see all that, but you know, I don't really know how to fix that wound. You know what I mean? There are some things that it helps to be aware of, and God can kind of just take you out from there. But there are some things that are just like really hard. Um, they take very, very specific situations to get you out, or to heal that wound, for example. So I've kind of accepted that. I kind of understand that. I don't know what it's going to take to heal that wound specifically. I know it's something that's, I haven't run into until now. I mean, I'll just give you an example. I mean, maybe God intends to heal that wound by me having a child and experiencing some of the things that my parents experienced. I don't know, but I haven't even had a child or gotten pregnant up until this point in my life, so there was no way for me to heal that wound, if that makes sense. So I'm aware of the wound. I don't know how to do anything about it, because God puts you in very specific circumstances to heal certain wounds. Um, and that's why I say, um, sometimes I struggle with the idea behind something being a disease. Um, I feel like, and I might be wrong about this, I don't know, but I feel like if God can heal the wound that started or fuels the addiction now, um, you can stop seeking the drug, you can stop being depressed, you can stop having those problems. That's what I believe. Now, I can't tell you that I've seen it. Like, that's just, it just makes sense to me logically because, you know, um, I have seen a lot of situations where I think a certain way, and if you want to say God, um, I um, I get into a situation that feels like God kind of puts me there, and it changes my mindset, and I've had a lot of things like that, so I just tend to believe that things like depression can be cured, if you want to say that, but you know there's a lot of stories in the Bible that talk about people that get cures or that get healed. They had to suffer for many years, right? So we have to suffer through the disease, if you want to call it that. That's fine. You have to suffer through the years of addiction until that point in time when um, when things change. A good example of addiction. I was talking about my dad in the last video. What I thought was very interesting with him was, well, a lot of people don't ever get free from their drug at all. If you want to say addiction, they just don't stop drugs. But my dad was able to stop using drugs. I don't know if he was about 60, something like that, and his mother died, right? And I saw that really change some things in him. I don't know what specifically happened with him and his parents, but there was something that really helped him at least get off drugs. Now, I do believe that he wasn't really able to, because he doesn't know what exactly happened to drive him to drugs, and he doesn't understand abuse, and he doesn't understand like things that can lead you into abuse enough. I think that he will always have the disease, like people talk about with drugs. Um, if he is put into the wrong situation, um, I think he will always be tempted. Now, I don't know if he would actually go back. I mean, when I look at him, I feel like whatever happened with his mom passing away, I don't think that he would go back. But I do see how, because he didn't understand fully what drove him to drugs, that he could easily be tempted to do it again. So in that way, that's kind of what I would explain as a disease. Can we can we fix the thing that drives us to the drugs, the porn, whatever? I don't know everything that drives me to bad behaviors, but I do know that probably all of it starts in childhood, and I think that it can be um, I think that it can be cured um, by God putting me in the right situation. That's what I call a cure. If God puts you at the right situation at the right time, um, you can be healed of things that you didn't think that you could. Maybe that sounds simple. It's not a pill, but that's what I see usually gets me free of mindsets. To me, mindsets are what drives us to drugs and things like that. Trauma, uh, reliving situations is all we can do to get out of that. So that's kind of what God will do if you kind of pay attention to it. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end there, and I thank you for watching. Have a nice day.